Police are now recommending criminal charges against a Sparta High School student accused of making a death list. The 16-year-old drafted that list late last week, just days after a deadly school shooting in Ohio. News 8's Jenna Traum joins us now live in our studio with a look at what charges police are recommending against him and why the police chief says it's such a tricky situation.
Martha, the Sparta Police Department has decided to recommend 2 criminal charges against the Sparta sophomore. But the question that makes charging the 16-year-old complicated is this: is making a list a crime? After a Sparta High School sophomore wrote a death list of 26 students he felt had bullied him, police are recommending Monroe County Human Services charge him with disorderly conduct and harassment.
The actions, we believe, are disorderly because they created a disturbance, and harassment because he targeted specific individuals.
They're both low-level misdemeanors, but Sparta Police Chief Mike Cass says there's no clear-cut answer to whether the student actually committed a crime. The shooting the Sparta sophomore was allegedly planning was not carried out, but investigators believe he had the means and the motivation to do it. And Cass says the motivation behind the student's actions play a big role in how this case moves forward.
There's these allegations of bullying that are out there, and no way are we trying to excuse this young man's actions. But I think when we talk about long-term treatment and potential repercussions from the legal system, I think somebody has to address what drove him to create this list.
Investigators have interviewed every student on that death list they could identify. And Cass says investigators do not believe any of those students picked on the 16-year-old in question to the point that it would be considered a crime.
There's no statute for bullying. There's no criminal act that's called bullying. Obviously, this young man felt that he was being picked on by other students, which drove him to this action. We don't believe any of those acts, if they occurred, were a crime.
Sparta school district officials also reached out to the students on that list. And the district superintendent, John Hendricks, says an anonymous statewide survey the high school students took last year indicate the school does not have a widespread bullying problem.
The survey results that we receive, and the latest was a year ago, 2011, show that bullying at Sparta High School is reported less often than the state average and much less often than schools regionally.
Hendricks says school officials have not talked to the accused students since the incident, so it's hard to assess the reality of the bullying he allegedly experienced.
I think it's important to keep in mind that we don't know the specifics of this, and I think it's unfair to judge the whole school district by this one incident.
Monroe County Human Services will make the decision about whether the student should face criminal charges and go to court, or if he just needs counseling and treatment.
Thanks a lot, Jenna. Also, the accused student's mental health is being evaluated at a juvenile facility outside of Monroe County.